Hello, my name is James. I'm a youth pastor in Florida. Recently, I purchased the Teen Rebel Revolt from Rock, Paper, Scissors. I was looking for something to do at an event that I host in the spring for our church. We have at this event around 20 teenagers, around 10 adults that come and help me chaperone and things. Numbers can increase a little from there, just kind of depending year to year. Typically at this event I do some kind of large scavenger hunt, and I was looking for something a little different, little maybe more challenging, and I stumbled upon Rock, Paper, Scissors in their Teen Rebel Revolt escape room, and I thought I'd try that to see how well it went. So I chose that one because it seemed most suited for my group, and I loved how customizable it was. There was a couple of challenges that I thought were a little too easy for my group, so I was able to do my own challenges. Most of them were great. There was just two, I think, challenges that I substituted, but there's so much information in the kit, so many graphics and logos that the teens probably had no idea that I had inserted those puzzles, because I was able to use their stuff and make it all look the same. So it worked out really well, highly customizable, and the way I broke the groups up, I was able to change a little bit of how the original setup was to really help the group and the setting I was using. Loved how customizable it was. And so the way I ran it was I split it into 5 groups. I believe I had around 6 or 7 people per group, somewhere in that ballpark, and I had broke them down into colors. I was able to change one of the logos into colors, and so what we did was we all met in a room. As they began to arrive at the event, I was writing their names down, and I had a list of teenagers and a list of adults, and then I spoke separately to the adults I used to be the moderators, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. And so what I did was I had put all the teens onto teams, and I did it in a way that I thought the teams would be fair, so that one team really wouldn't dominate. I didn't put all the brainiacs on one team and all the athletes on one team and things like that. I tried to really break it up so that they could mix and mingle a little bit better, and that they'd have a better chance of finishing near the same time. And so I broke the teenagers up into teams, and then I put a couple of my adults on the teams with them to participate. We had some college students there helping, so it worked out great. And then I had an adult moderator on each team. Before I started, I went through the challenges and the puzzles with the moderators so that they would have an idea as if their team was on task or on track. I gave the moderators some hints they could give if their team was going in the opposite direction of where they should be going, and the hints didn't give it away, but it kept them on the right track. And the hints also were a time penalty. They could get that hint, but they were required to wait a minute before they could get it, or something like that, just to kind of, before they could start, just to kind of make it a little more fair, getting hints and things like that. And so I had my entire group meet in one area, and then I broke them up into teams. I said, okay, the red team is going to be, and I listed off who they were, and I got them segregated into teams. Then I had a big box in the room we were in with a combination lock on it. I picked up one like this, not expensive, uses the numbers, easily customizable to change. I can change it what I want the combination to be. And so I told them that everything was going to lead back to that box. And I gave them some basic instructions that no challenge would take them into a restroom or anything like that. So if somebody had to go, you didn't run into the problems there or whatever. And so gave some basic instructions, told them their starting point would be upstairs. We have a Sunday school building. So I dismissed them. All the teams ran upstairs, and on the doors I had one of the posters that I had downloaded and printed from Rock, Paper, Scissors, and one of the posters was green, one of them was red, one of them was maybe orange, and so they knew their team color, and that coordinated to the door they were to go in. So as soon as they got in there, moderator shut the door and gave them envelope number 1. The Rebel Revolt was broken down into 3 sets of challenges, I believe, and so I had 3 envelopes. In order to get to envelope number 2, you had to complete all the challenges of envelope number 1. They were puzzles and word games and different things like that. And so they would work through challenge 1. Once challenge 1 was completed, they could go on to challenge 2. Once challenge 2 and challenge 3, and etc. I had them labeled very clearly. I'd done this all in advance. What I did was I printed the challenges onto cardstock. And then each envelope, I was able to custom print my envelopes using our printer here. So one said orange team and envelope number 1, or orange team envelope number 2. The big wide white envelopes. And then they'd work through these challenges together. I don't think, but only a few of them needed any kind of a prop. So I had everything they needed. If they needed pencils and pens, if they needed scrap paper, if they needed scissors, one of the challenges they had to cut something up and put it back together, and so that was important for that. And had all that set up ahead of time. So as they completed the entire envelope number 1, the moderator gave them envelope number 2. And with another neat thing about the Teen Rebel Revolt was that all of my moderators had a smartphone. They could go on to this special website and they could check the answers. So the moderator didn't have to tell them you're warm or you're cold or anything. They could show them using their cell phone, nope, that's not the right answer. Oh, got it, move on to challenge 2. So that was neat, helped the moderator a little bit better. And so as they got through challenge 1, they got through challenge or envelope 2, then they got through envelope 3. And the way I did it was, once they got envelope 3 completed, the very last challenge led them to another room in our church building. And what I did was I said, your answer is with the king of the choir room, or a couple of the groups there said with the queen of the choir room. So they had to go in our choir room. In our choir room we have bookshelves. Then on the bookshelf I had this little empty book that you could open. It's like a little box, and one of the boxes had the King of Hearts, and one of the boxes I think had the Queen of Hearts, or I don't remember which. One was a king, one was a queen. They found that box. Inside the box, it had a paper that said, the answer to the combination lock are these numbers from your challenge. So if they remembered the numbers, or if they brought their challenges down with them, then all they had to do was open it. I had one group, this was really cool. I didn't plan this, but one group ran into the choir. The first team that was really ahead of everybody got their challenges done. They got into the choir room. Another cool thing about having small groups is they're all segregated. So if they hear one team, if there's 2 big teams and they're near each other, they see one team as one, the other team kind of gives up. This keeps them all going because they're all working, and there's so much noise, they don't know what they're hearing, so they keep moving, keep going. One team got into the choir room, and I don't know who did this, but somebody taped coins to the lectern in the choir room. There was like a quarter and a dime and a penny and a nickel or something. So they saw that and thought that was the combination. They got to the main room and realized that was too many numbers, and then they looked back at the clue, had to run all the way back, and so that gave other teams were excited to get in and get a chance to participate with that. So that was pretty cool. And so then it led to that combination. Our teenagers absolutely loved it. And what was one of the ways you know that it went well is we had I wasn't a moderator. I'm walking around taking pictures and things and helping our moderators out, and when it was getting down to the nitty-gritty, when I went to the main room and was taking pictures as people ran in, so the winning group ran in, did the combination, they won. The second group came in just like 4 minutes behind them, or maybe not even, just they were right on their heels. Came in, it was too late, but they were still smiling, happy that they did it. The next group was close behind them, and so I said 5 groups. I may have just did 4, but they were right in behind them. Then we're all sitting there talking about the escape room and stuff, having fun. And then the very last group, like 15 minutes later, runs in thinking they're going to win. They're excited. They're like, oh no! But they're still all smiles and they're laughing, and they had a whole lot of fun doing it. I definitely do it again. I was talking about it with our college and career guy. It's something that he was interested in maybe doing. And so I enjoyed it. I think it was great. Again, my biggest reservation was the having to break everybody down into smaller groups and how much that was going to be extra work on me. but I'm very glad that we did that. I think that is the most beneficial because it gets everybody involved. It gets people that would not normally participating. What I learned from doing it is you got to be careful with the adults that you put in there, because we had one group that had a highly competitive college girl, and she's just all over everything and dominating everything. So you got to try to wheel them back in. This year I did something a little bit different and made it to where I had some challenges where they all had to participate a little bit better. So be careful about that. Absolutely loved how customizable it was. I was able to customize it for how I wanted it to run and what I wanted it to do. The puzzles were good, challenges were good, enjoyed it all. I was even able to add some challenges and puzzles using their graphics and things. I thought it was great. Hope you enjoyed this review.